When's the last time we talked? December?
I have no idea. I think around then, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. Is this your first show of the day?
Yep. We serve the best.
What time are you on?
It's what is it? Noon, straight up. Conkers, 389 members. Is that an open group?
No.
Or how's that? Okay, yeah, I got you.
Closed, but I just got the message to open it yesterday.
You cut out.
Oh, I said it's closed, but I just got the message to open it yesterday.
Oh, you opened Conkers.
Not yet. I just got the message that I am to open it. So we'll see what the group. It started off as this tiny network of sisters, closed group, 7 years ago, and here we are.
7 years ago, was it a Facebook group?
Yeah.
7 sisters.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
The 7 sisters. Well, what does Conkers mean?
Do you know what? I was guided to start a group for women 7 years ago. And I was like, what? I'm a total tomboy, right? What do I know about running women's groups? No clue. And then, of course, Sol goes, just do it. So I was like, what am I going to call it? And then inner child goes, Conkers. I love Conkers. It's a game we play in England. Yeah.
Oh, it's a game. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
With like the chestnuts from a tree.
Like marbles.
Yeah, but we hit each other with them, kind of.
You clonk them.
So yeah,
you clonk them on the clonker, or clonk them on the conker. Yeah, I think we talked in December. Is it before solstice or after solstice? Because it's a whole different ball game.
Oh my God, I don't know what day it is, barely, Todd. I really don't know when we spoke. I think it was before the solstice. Yeah.
I remember everything now, or it seems like we're experiencing everything now. It's not about time. It's about frequency, resonance.
Yeah.
Alignment, taking in energy. Because I mean, every day more and more people are talking about the physical impact of this energy coming down.
Yeah.
And you see it everywhere. You see it in the energy of everything. The level of disclosure, the level of our expansion, the synchronicities.
Yeah. I was talking with a dear friend Petra yesterday about we experienced 2 very different realities when we were together, and then today I just saw a blue car with the number plate just said reality.
Wow. Well,
yeah, it's getting trippy.
What some are saying, the ones that are out there that get that information and that come on the show, they're saying that it's starting to open up now. Like March, April, some people are describing it as truly the 5D is fully 100% online. Some people are saying the 3rd of March.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that the human is immediately fully aligned with it and all its powers.
No.
I mean, and that's another thing people have been saying that, one way or the other, that we have been getting accustomed to this new energy because it's been in the air. The 5D's been out there. It's been out there, for a number of years. I mean, probably always. But I mean, in terms of like awareness as a group. So they're, basically saying that we're getting used to it. One way to describe it would be the masculine and the feminine came to enough of a balance. The golden child energy was birthed. We broke through a gateway, whatever you want to call it. But, this is a time Franco talked about.
Yeah.
And and one thing I've noticed about you, because again, I don't really have the memory or the time or the this or that. But when I caught your energy, since the last time I taught you, it kind of exemplifies what I'm talking about, because I remember your energy's been very busy, like you're starting something or you're starting something else. You're
Left,
kind
right,
of
and centre. Yeah,
right,
definitely
right.
out of Hermitage now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you started Conkers as a women's group 7 years ago, and you were a tomboy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's also a lot of group activity, small group activity popping up all over the place, and
Yeah.
the power of a group. Was there was there any kind of evolution with that group? I mean, let me ask you this: did you feel the impact, or when did you feel the impact of, let's say, the non-physical, like the group mind, the group heart, the group intention, the group soul? You know, did you do any meditations? Were you in silence, or did you just talk? Did you come into that, that some people are talking about and noticing and experiencing? We're coming together with a group, and like in a sacredness, that just really powerful experiences are happening individually and in the group, even like during meditation, like in Morgan's group. It's not a meditation. It's different. I don't know how to explain it, but
Mhm.
everybody's quiet. And there's just kind of a few words said, and then everybody's quiet for 30, 40 minutes, and the experiences they have. And I've been in them. I've pretty much gone to one a week for a year, and people will then talk about their experience in that quiet time, and you see the weaving, and you also hear and experience the same exact thing. Like I saw a big
Yeah.
column of light come out of the center of this circle, and this happened. And you'll see somebody start giggling, like, "What?" But I
Really?
mean, yeah. But have you had that experience? I mean, what was the experience like through the 7 years?
No, no, no. We haven't meditated together. We've had some gatherings, not many.
Hmm.
Um, but a couple of years ago, I was told to open it up to men now. So now we're everyone.
Okay.
That was 2 years ago, I think. And then literally just, I think it was yesterday. Now I'm to make it public and take it wider. But I don't know. I mean, people connect in there on this, experiencing very, very similar things. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Do you monitor Soulogy as in the Facebook group so much? I don't. I'm
What
not
do you
as
mean?
active in there as I used to be.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have to.
Like the central control.
Well, I mean, I have to, like, we've had some great admins, and when they were in there, I
Mm.
kind of just only focused on posting stuff as much as I could every day, like,
Yeah.
50 a day, um, and just doing everything else. But then, after a while, it gets to be a lot, even if you got three or four of them. So they can only last so long. We've had some really good ones, so I want to say that, and I didn't probably tell them enough. But so then, now I go in and I have to push a lot of them through. And but yeah, I think in terms of what you're talking about, yeah, I'm very much in touch with it. I know the energy of it.
Hmm.
It's always been an energy. As I when I got the message, or you formed it, 2012. It has to be open. It has to be wide open.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's been a little bit of a Facebook stopped allowing groups to approve members. Okay, in the open classification or whatever. And
Oh.
so we've had a little bit of trouble with that, but not too much. I guess the software, AI's on it or whatever. But anyway, getting back to what you were saying, yeah, the makeup is 75% women.
Hmm.
It used to be 90,
Yeah.
90, 92 when it started.
Lovely.
We didn't start on YouTube in with any seriousness until 2019, and it was 95% women, and now it's about
Yeah.
80, maybe 82. But and then the other the other one, Soldier One Studios on Facebook, it's like 67-33, because it's more hip. That's where we used to put all the music, and
Oh yeah.
we put some different stuff on there. Just put some stuff to make people think and stuff like that. But now here's another thing I noticed, uh, and I just noticed this yesterday because I was looking at the demographics. countries, and like it's a top 10 cities or regions in the world, with 10% of Australia being in Soulogy. 6 of the top 10 cities are in Australia, which is wild. Yeah. So, but what I noticed yesterday that was kind of cool was the age group of what is it, 17 to 24 and 25 to 34.
Well, that
Were
is
like
interesting.
the bars were growing.
Yeah.
They were growing, and I think one of the pages had 13 to 17, and that even had like one little less than 1% or something, but that's still something.
Age range.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're coming,
Oh,
and yeah, they're coming. The kids are coming. They are.
I love that.
It's wild.
Yeah. Have you had any more children on your show yet?
I don't know. I can't remember. Well, I mean, they've been in the air, like even with
Yeah.
me on a personal level, and because I'm back in Houston for a bit, I got to take care of
Mhm.
something over here. And my 2 youngest are here. They're both girls, and they're
Lovely.
21 and 22.
Have
And
they been on?
they came on my birthday 2 years ago,
Yeah.
2 birthdays back, and then one of them was on the Soulogy Fest footage. But she was on. This is one of the things that happened because I've been seeing them here and there, and it's just kind of cool. But it's kind of cool because it's not the energy that we're all feeling.
Mm-hmm.
This thing that's becoming more and more indescribable and cool and
Very
whatever.
cool.
It's there in these relationships that are some of the closest relationships I have, right?
Yeah.
And so yesterday, my daughter Izzy, 22, the one that went to Soulogy Fest, she was on Julie Pershin's talk show because she made some friends over there and whatever. And it was a very good show. I thought they both really articulated and were relaxed. It was very cool. But listening to my daughter, who I talk to, or text every day, really.
Mm.
And we talk about these things. I mean, they've known about Soulogy. They were probably the first ones, that wasn't online. They're like 10 and 11 years old. Yeah, okay, Dad, whatever.
Mm.
But yeah, she was on the show. But some of the things that she was saying, it sounded like people on this show.
Yeah.
And she's young, she has a life, so she doesn't watch a show religiously. I mean, we do a lot of shows, and they're long shows. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Somewhere and what was really cool, and I think this is probably speaks to the the demographics starting to show what they're showing.
Mm.
Her intel that was the formidable present real-time intel that we try to capture on this show with people, that was the biggest standout with what I heard her talk about.
Mm.
It was the stuff she said on February 22nd, and she didn't tell me this, but whatever. So she was like, February 22nd, she woke up and something clicked. She said everything changed, and you can tell in this in this consciousness that we're all so blessed to be in. The truth is coming through louder and louder. And when we first started to get that, we're like, oh, look at the lies, look at the lies, look at the lies. But that's not what's happening now. And I saw it in her, and I've seen it in people since September on this show, and in myself, and whatever, through all of this. And what it is that the truth is coming out of people because they're being themselves, right?
Yeah.
And so when you hear anyone talking, that's what we're becoming super sensitive to. It's not about a judgment. It's just about an observance of, oh, we can see each other's shadow. But if we sit here and go, oh, there's the lie, then we go back to the old. If we look at it and go, oh, okay, well, what's that saying? Oh, but the grace of of God, there goes me. So it's kind of like that. But at the same time, your truth is you don't have to say anything,
Yeah.
So it's just, it's really fascinating to me to see how fast it's moving. And that to me is even day after day. Last night I talked to Kimberly Ross, Franco's partner.
Oh, yeah.
Franco was around. Some weird stuff happened. She read a beautiful letter. She has a group. She has a group. Speaking of groups, and they get together a couple of times a month, and they do stuff together. And so they just had a group, and they have like a homework assignment, which is write your body a letter.
Oh,
And the idea that
I love
was
that.
behind, right? Like the idea that was behind it is last year people really started talking about how the body was getting louder.
Oh,
And
it
this
sure
year,
is.
right? And this year people are like, purging. I mean, they're, people are getting, things are happening. People are making the connection that it's an energetic based thing. It has something to do with the shadows, but it also has something to do with the light blasting it out. And so we're starting to naturally align with that. So in that, they as a group, I'm just kind of, it kind of was alluded, I guess, to me, it makes sense. They kind of came to a point, or somebody did, and said, wow, the body's like, just like the soul, like all this time we've been out, out of our body, and so the letter that she read was incredible. It was beautiful. It was just like, whoa. It carried everything. It carried all that mother energy too. Yeah. And the apologies and this is coming at a time when many people, including me, are making very, very distinct changes in what they consume in their body and what they do, and etc. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff happening. And I know you're busy. You're busy like a bee. So what's that feel like? Do you feel like that you're working with the new energy? Do you feel, what do you feel? You feel lighter? You feel free?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I look at it, I go, shit, there's so much going on, but it doesn't feel like it's too much at all. And I'm doing so many different things, and I just go with the flow, I just say yes and see where it takes me. Like I just run my first women's circle gathering, which just happened to be a women's circle. It worked out that way. And most
Now,
of them know you.
was it local?
Yeah. So we're
You
having
mean,
physical gatherings now.
wait a minute. So it was your first one?
First physical gathering, yeah, because I've been living
Okay.
as a hermit in Scotland for years.
So where
Now
are
I'm
you
down
now?
in
Okay.
Dorset,
Dorset, that's what on
south coast of England.
okay. And there are
Yeah.
people there that know the show?
Soulogy. Yeah, new, yeah.
You're kidding.
No,
So
and what I couldn't believe, most of the women that came to this gathering all knew you and about Soulogy, and one watches every night.
who
I
how
couldn't believe
many,
it.
that's crazy. How many
Yeah.
women were there? How many
We were
showed up?
five. It was a small gathering. We were five
Oh, that's
women.
cool. Yeah. Five
Yeah.
is
But it is, when you ask me about Conkers, what I see coming is it's a physical community. It's gonna be a physical community. The community, because one of them who ran it with me, Victoria, she says to say hello to you, by the way. Victoria
Victoria.
Rolfe. She's been on your
Ah,
show.
what's her last name?
Rolfe. Hi,
Yeah.
Victoria,
Okay.
if you're watching. I don't know if she's doing yoga, but
Yeah. Okay. I know.
she
Yeah. Yeah.
found me through your show when I did my first chat with you,
Oh, wow.
and reached out and said, I just feel like I know you. And yes, we've come together physically and we're having these gatherings, and the communities, it's just we're getting together physically, which is just
Wow.
amazing.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
And these geographical moves too, like there's
Yeah.
no coincidence. Like if the body is, we're embodying, so in reality everything is all the same thing, and it's just kind of like a universal soul expansion opportunity game for us to figure out how to do this, what's not been done before because of the level of density. And God, we're it's clicking, right? It
Yeah.
is. It really is. It's
Sure
clicking.
is. Do you know what I'm noticing quite a lot in the people that I meet? And again, it's mostly women at the moment, but is it's like the earth speaking through us. We're becoming like just pure channel for the earth. That's what I'm observing. Certainly happening with me. Everything I do is about nature and reconnecting people with nature, and it feels like it's like she's speaking through us.
That's a good point. That's a really good point, because if you think about it, it's within, without, and
Right. Yeah.
the geometry of the universe, of the Trinity. Really, you got the masculine, feminine, boom,
Yeah.
third energy. But it would make sense, because that would mean that the earth is embodying herself. Why? You know what I mean? And so, like, as an example, I know people that are getting sprung, winding up in all different places, getting up and going, I'm getting rid of everything, I'm gone, just all
That's what
kinds of
I
stuff.
did. Yeah.
Right. And there's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah. Gave everything
Or
away.
really
Yeah.
multiple reasons. Like Morgan, like Morgan 2 weeks ago, she house sits, right?
Yeah.
And she's in Queensland, which is kind of like country, like there's a lot of space in Australia anyway.
Yeah.
And so everything came down to nothing. Like there was nothing after, there was not much money, And
That's the
just
sweet
like
spot.
this is not that, and that, right. And then something hit.
Yeah.
Approved immediately, 2 months on 80 acres in this paradise
Yeah. Yeah.
that these
Yeah.
old
Yeah. That's
folks
it.
live in, right? And she's very galactic, right? And so the land, like it was like the land is coming out, in the
Yeah.
time she's been there. But I think I think a lot of people are being called, and because it's a physical thing, and because our bodies are on point as a spirit, soul, as everything, and what you said is true, then that would only make sense. But it would also make sense that if there's anything living below us in the earth, in the inner earth, and anything living around us that we haven't been able to see, and everything else will be seen too.
It's coming through. Sure
You seen
is.
any fairies lately? You seen any fairies lately?
There's so much of that in Scotland. I haven't endorsed it yet, but I am one, so we're everywhere.
Yeah.
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 It's getting really fun. But that letting go of everything, because it's like wiping the files now, right? Just go, do I want that in my reality? No. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
And create space.
Even if they're uncomfortable, which they are, but we still resist because we don't know what's going to happen. I think we're going to lose something. It's like that Charlie Brown character, Linus, that carried around the blanket.
Comfort blanket.
Right?
Man.
We could call it our uncomfortable blankets. But I think people
right.
are starting to. We are all starting to have less judgment, and where it counts the most, less self-judgment. So we're starting to look, and that's changing our perspective of the programming, because I think in our super consciousness that, I think what's happening is we're learning so fast, and we're able to look at these things, compute them, and go faster and faster and faster. So we're seeing them as the programs that they are, because they all come from one program.
Yeah.
And we're not a slave to the program.
No.
It doesn't matter what the fuck the world says.
No, I mean, you hit upon something last time we spoke. I remember about, if you have a passport, you're still keeping that old reality alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that right?
Well, I mean, I'm not like advocating anything. What I'm saying is, and it goes to what you're saying about Earth coming through us as much as we're coming through her. It's a Helios. But what I'm saying is that it would only make sense that in the most dense, our recollection, and from everything we've ever heard, from anyone that's ever channeled anything, thing about Earth. Would only make sense that the illusion is founded in the density. So anything that's in that density, which is a dualistic polarity. See, we're okay with polarity, but we came in here and it got all crazy and shit. So, it only makes sense to me that in the most densest ways, you could say in the body, in the corporal body, that we have to disengage. It'll be our clothes too. I mean,
do you reckon? Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, that, you know what I mean? I'm saying it metaphorically. I'm saying it literally.
Yeah.
But of course, the other reason I say that is because the government, all those elements deconstructing, and if they're products of those elements, then they're not going to be enforced, used, whatever.
No. And they're not. They're really not. And I'm connected to people. I have friends who are not paying their fuel bills, their electricity and gas bills or whatever, and they are not being cut off. Nothing is happening.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting.
Well, that's a deeper ripple of what's been going on for years. The governments haven't had any money. I don't know much about the financials of other governments, but I know, I'm well read enough to know the pattern, and it started in the 90s. The system itself started just getting backed up, and it had a huge financial impact, which is because the people were struggling in the country, and the government doesn't want anyone to know about it. They got soft on taxes. They really backed down, going after people. The prison system's getting full. So, what you're describing is another piece of that. It just started, and it gets bigger and bigger, and they can't. What are they going to do? People aren't. You got. Let's say you have an average of 2 or 3% of the people are late on their bill. Exactly. You're going to shut them off, and it's now 30%. Are you just going to shut people off? People be in the fucking streets, man. And this is where I think we really are going to benefit the most and benefit the world the most is when the shit hits the fan and flashes or overall or whatever the fuck happens because of our solidarity with ourselves and with each other, which can be defined as a like frequency, a frequency at the end of the day that you both live and die together, something like that. We'll be able to handle whatever comes. And as we do that, our aspects will speak louder and louder to us, and we'll become more and more the fucking energetic giants we are. Take that, Illuminati Matrix. Take that.
I love that. Yeah, baby. It's happening. It's happening. I just feel so excited.
Well, I feel like a revolutionary, but not a revolutionary like throughout history. I love history, and I love reading history.
You're a love revolutionary.
But no, a revolutionary. But I feel like it's revolutionary, but not in a rebellious, or you know what I mean? It's
truth revolution.
It's like a wave. Yeah, but we know now, like everything we look at in the past has a very dense physical, reflection, because that's what it's built on. That's how it's presented. Most of it's presented with purpose. But now we are truly conscious living energy beings that's actually navigating and experiencing this thing, and now co-creating in it based on all of our sensitivity, skills and abilities, relationships, collaborations.
Yeah.
Collaborations is big. That's embodiment.
Collaboration is
like your group.
The
like
theme of now.
Yeah. Yeah. And and even these shows, like they are, and I'm just here. I mean that because it's all a reflection. If it's happening here, it's got to be happening somewhere else. It may look different, but the I guess how I would explain it is 4,000 shows, right? I mean, it's energetically with everything else. been an evolution. And now, since I'd say September, I can feel everybody. I
Can
can
you?
tell you, I can tell
Can
you
you?
I mean, I can tell you that, like, I don't know how to say it. I'm sensitive to the vortex that all of
Yeah.
us here together, 107 people, and even
Yeah.
including the people that watch replay who are actually here at the same, you know what I mean? It's just
They're here
crazy.
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that explains why. Because when I was lying awake, just thinking, "Shit, I'm gonna be asking Todd questions, and why am I like my soul is a nutter? Why am I doing this?" And then I was like asking you in my head how you do what you do, showing up every day, talking to so many people at so many different levels, and sharing so many different things. And then, literally in my dream, you came in my dream and explained to me that the reason and how you can do it is because you are
That's
everything.
funny.
I
But
know.
a lot of that stuff's happening. People
Yeah.
are constant. Well, I think it's been going on, but it's becoming more frequent. It's becoming and more known, and that's really the key to it all. The more we
Yeah.
know about who we are, the more gifts come online, and
Yeah.
many other things. The more that comes in to our vision, the less we compute everything from this density's active consciousness onto the consciousnesses that we've added, right?
Yeah.
Franco used to talk about the active consciousness. What is it? It's
Okay.
like the ego, the mind. I don't remember them all. The inner child. I mean, I don't remember them all. There's like 5 or 6 of them, and he
Yeah.
explains it real well. But he was talking about how new streams or streams that were there, but that were like, say, minor players, like
Yeah.
say your
Yeah.
Christ consciousness, or however you want to define it, we're taking more and more.
Yeah.
This is the knowing, and then of course the embodiment is taking that and merging it with the rest and utilizing it to the point where we are now, where the body's going, hey man, I'm either going to check out of this place and it's about to get real cool here. We're going to make some history, or I just want to tell you that. But if you don't change, you know, you're out. And if you
Yeah.
want to change, it's okay. We'll go crystalline real fast.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, I just shared your chat with Lisa Transcendence Brown on my page a few days ago because it's one of my favorites. When you went to visit her in Hawaii and she starts glowing, and you're
Yeah.
just like, I need another coconut.
Yeah, that was
Remember that
crazy.
one?
We did 4
Mm.
shows in 4
Yeah.
weeks. And no. I went over there for every week for 4 weeks. In the 4th week, we did the show, and
Oh.
we did, but we were doing some other stuff. Yeah, that was a good show, the couch show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
what
good
brought that
show.
up? What were you talking about?
Oh, I just said it's one of my favorite shows because I shared it a few days ago. It's where, she
Right.
literally starts glowing and she's like, she starts
Yeah,
laughing and she's like, we're called light beings for a reason, guys.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a
Yeah.
high energy place that she had there.
Oh, yeah.
There was some history to it. Yeah, I think it was about 2
Mm.
acres. It was nice,
Wow.
big, but through it all, and I've met some amazing people and had some
Mm.
amazing experiences, on the road. I mean, Morgan and I in Hawaii, that shit was crazy. The first
Mm.
week we got Lemurian grandmothers all
Wow.
around the bed as we lay down. And speaking
Oh.
of coconuts, their faces look like the outside of those hairy coconuts.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, man. And I'm like, hey, I hadn't seen I mean, it
Yeah.
took. I mean, I went over there with nothing,
Yeah.
nothing,
Yeah. Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
ticket, and just a ticket, and there to go. We'll take care of you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
It's
at the
beautiful.
airport. And this lady who I'm going to actually talk to, an auntie, uh, today. I'm going to touch base with her.
Oh,
See,
nice.
there's a synchronicity.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't talked to her in ages, but yeah, she 150 friends on Facebook.
I thought you were going to
One
say that's emotions.
one mutual reaches out to me and says, "Hey, I've got this extra room for 7 weeks. You can have it."
Yeah.
The day before I go. But yeah, it was just so many things happen, And like over there was just, stuff. But you meet these people and you have these, interactions. And
What's
we
up?
gone?
Oh,
We back?
okay. I think I just sat still.
Whoops.
You lost me.
You're good. Hang on. Hang on. No, it's me. It's on my end. Well, let's see. Hang on. I think we're good now.
Yeah?
You hear me all right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, what I was saying is that everybody that's here, I don't give a fuck who you are. Excuse my French. I'm saying that to me when I talk that way. That's always to me first. It's a good
Yeah,
thing. So it's worth kicking the ass.
it
But
is.
if we're here, we are subject to the human condition.
Mhm.
But the human condition, as we thought it means that no more. The human condition is becoming a super powerful, can hold its own in any
Yeah,
place that we will appear.
it sure is.
And I'm telling
And
you, it's
all the,
happening.
it is. And all the things that a lot of us beat ourselves up over or used to, our quirks, our, individualities and all of these things, or even, our accents or hair or whatever, are the things that there are gifts. They're all gifts because these are all designed because so we connect to others, to our tribes, the sound of our voice, of course. There's another one.
I didn't get any of that. I just got a bunch of warbling. Is it me or is it? Let's see. Ask the audience. Was she coming in okay? And am I coming in okay? Is everything okay? Because I couldn't hear anything you said in that.
Oh, really? Oh.
And maybe that's our frequency, right? And
Yeah.
this is what I'm talking about, this collective frequency. Because I've had those tech issues.
Yeah.
Have always
Okay.
shown themselves.
You guys can all hear me, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that happens. Grace Solaris, she almost disappeared on this show.
Yeah.
You talked about that Lisa one.
Yeah.
I've seen it with shows with a lot of people. But lights flashing, just different things. The tech acting weird and quirky. Last time I did a show with Mary Rodwell, it went off 3 or 4 times.
Did it?
And she wrote me a note afterwards. She goes, "That's never happened before. I don't know." I said, "It's not you."
Yeah. We are the technology.
Well, that's the truth. I mean, we're made in the image.
Yeah.
Which means we're everything that is, except for one thing: what we do here. So, I watched a show with Jenny Jablowski. She's been on the show a couple of times. She works with horses. She's a really cool lady. She chronic illness, long term, heals herself. Husband stays by her the whole time. Incredible story, and just really, really connected. And the connection is accelerating, and her voice is coming out. She's on a show with Alex Collier, who's pretty well known in conspiracy and disclosure circles. He's been online since like '93. Connected to the Andromedans. Pretty big, person, and a couple other people. And that was an amazing thing to listen to. First of all, she mentioned the show. She talked about the show, about this guy that talks to all these people. Well, some of them used to be fairies. They used to be ETs.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. So, but here we go again. Hang on. I think it's coming back. You're good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Okay. It's just trying to hang on here. I'm watching it. But in that discussion, you had 4 different types, 4 different styles. 4 different you had a true starseed. You had a Jenny who's like angelic and coming from that, and a horse whisperer. Then you had this Alex Collier who's reported for years on all of these communications he's had with the Andromedans and what's going on with Earth and the really deep stuff. And there was another guy that was like a whistleblower, but they were all speaking the same language. They were all speaking the I am soul. And I heard Alex Collier on that show, and he was like, well, they were all questioning. This is why I resonated with it, because I question everything, anything, seen or not seen. Good feeling, bad feeling. Because I mean, Archangel Michael's scared the living hell out of me before. So just because something's of the light doesn't mean it's not gonna, you know what I mean, push you around a little bit. But they were they all had a converging narrative, spoken from a different perspective, and they were all kind of like exuding the trajectory of I am soul. I will stand in my soul in any timeline, any dimension. To paraphrase it, I think we're out. Oh, we back on? The energy, man. What is going on here? Is it just me?
Yeah, I think everyone else says they can hear us fine. I think I can hear you okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna do three finger. I'm gonna do the 3-finger mujer. 3-finger mujer. More.
What does that do?
Works good. Pulls all your energy back in.
Oh, does it?
She went to a conference. She went. Yeah. You take your writing hand. You take these 3 fingers, and you put it on your heart, right on the middle of your chest, right. And so she went to this, some seminar or something years ago, like 15 years ago, and some old man was speaking about something metaphysical, I guess. And so when it started, he told the audience, take your, these 3, put them on your chest for 3 minutes.
Oh, I'm going to remember that.
And I'm telling you, right. And she was like, everybody there felt it because at some point in that 3 minutes, you can feel the shift.
You do it for 3 minutes.
That sounds crazy. I used to do it before every show.
Oh, it doesn't sound crazy at all. Shows. So 3 minutes you do it for?
Yeah, 3 minutes. 3 minutes. I swear. I swear by it. But I think, a lot of what we're going to come down to is going to be all about the body. So the body will do it.
Yeah.
The body will. Wow, all the chat just disappeared.
Really?
What the hell's going on?
Really? I can see it online.
I don't know what in the hell is happening here. Let me check if this thing is. Well, it's not the phone. Here, let me close all these windows, man. What is happening? This is bananas. Wow. Yeah, a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
But it's very strange on this end. The chat just totally disappeared. That's crazy. Yeah. So what's up? What do you think?
What's up? Well, you know what's lovely is I work in a shop in Bournemouth town.
Oh, you know what? They knocked me off.
Are you off?
Yeah, we're off. That's what happened. The counter's still going. The stream's still going, but they cut the stream signal.
Yeah, no, someone's saying that they can see and hear us.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go ahead.
I'm getting messages in.
They just sent me this is strange. Okay. So I just got a window popped up on my screen and it says log in. Email, password, create an account, log in.
Where have we just moved to?
I don't know. I think we just had it. Here, I'm going to go ahead and fill it out. Here.
All right.
Let's see what happens. Let's see. Log in. Wow, this is trippy, man. So we're still on?
Yeah. We're still on, and everyone's saying that they can.
Okay, that's cool.
Hear us.
You know what I think happened? I think
What?
I think the Soulogy card you know how they give you a new card,
Yeah.
and it has a different, that little 3-number thing on the back. Like the card has a different. Well,
Like
the
a
card
bank card.
expired.
Yeah.
Yeah, the number doesn't change,
Mm.
but the expiration changes and the little number on the back changes.
Yeah.
And I think I had a couple of problems on it, and I think that might be what happened. I think they just cut me off, but we're still broadcasting. The revolution continues. The revolution continues.
And it is televised.
Yeah. I,
There we go.
that was weird. It just kept breaking up. And you know what the other thing is?
What?
Since that window came up, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay.
Except for I can't see the chat. They took it away.
Uh,
That's okay. I'm going to milk them.
yeah.
Oh man, craziness.
It's fine. It's fine. Everyone's saying they can hear us. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You can only be mad at your own thing. Yeah. Oh my God, the people. I mean, do you get out and about much?
Yeah, because I'm like, Houston's a big old Texas city, big
Yeah.
city, and so it's got a pretty good sized downtown, because it was a big town to begin with.
Yeah.
So I'm like in the first suburb ever in Houston.
Oh, right.
So it's real eclectic, and
Uh-huh.
it's it's real eclectic, and it's real, old suburbish.
Yeah.
It's real artistic, and it's just really cool. They got a lot of coffee
Mhm.
shops and restaurants. It's just a nice place. And my daughter lives in a flat 1 block off the main street, which is 1 block the other way from my grandmother's house, where I started coming here from in like 1970, 1971, when it was just starting to like go through a renaissance. It was still an old neighborhood with all these old big houses that used to be like the best neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's one of them again. But I mean, it was right when the Renaissance was occurring.
Nice. Are you from Texas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
South Texas, Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi, Body of Christ.
Nice. Of course.
Yeah. Well, everything has a meaning. It always meant It always meant something to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
When I had the gathering, one of the ladies, she said, "Oh, I found a parking space, and it was on Rose Street." So many roses.
Yeah. That name runs in my maternal.
Does it?
Maternal. Yeah. Yeah. Sister, aunt, great grandmother. Like it just goes all the way down the line.
It's all there. Yeah. So what are your interactions like when you say, if you're buying a coffee, do you end up having like crazy expansive conversations with people you meet?
Well, yeah, I came here I don't even know now. I was here and then I left. I had to go take care of stuff and I came back. I think of December 27th, 29th. And I really hadn't decompressed. It was literally the end of the year. I came out of a snowstorm up in Arkansas in the mountains. I was trying to find a place to live, and then I had to come down here because I had to go do something for the government. But it's funny because they got me tagged in the system, and it's so stupid. And everyone that I talk to says, "This is stupid. We need to get rid of this," And so basically, I have to go make a court appearance. They're going to dismiss it, and they can't speed it up because there's, again, going back to what you said earlier, they're so backed up, whatever. So there's that extremity of the distortion, and I can laugh at it and not freak out. And I pull into town, and my daughter says, and I'll answer your question. Sorry, I'm going on but my daughter has a boyfriend that lives about 5 blocks over that she's living with. And I pull in town. She's like, "Oh, you want to rent my apartment?" I'm like, "Okay, I'll pay a month." I was trying to find a place, but I ran out of time. I was going to try to find a place in Arkansas. So I did, and, did it a second month. And now I'm going to do it a third month. But I'll be leaving in April. But anyway, so I see her a lot. She goes to this coffee shop. It's a 2-story old house that was converted on the main street. It's got like a big patio, and they have, you know, all these different kinds of things. And it's cool, and all these, and the people have their computers, play chess, read books. It's a really, really, like you'd expect here, really
Yeah.
eclectic, kind of cool place. So she's over there like almost every day, and so I'll walk by there, have a cup of coffee. She knows like everybody. She's 21 years old. She knows everybody everywhere I go, and so I meet people like that. But mostly when I go anywhere, I go and I'm listening to music and writing and thinking. And you know, if somebody does come talk to me, I'm friendly, but I don't
Mm.
probably talk to them very long. You know, maybe just a minute.
Mm.
But my daughter has, you know, quite a few friends, and they're, although she's 21, her boyfriend's 29. Uh, a lot of their friends are anywhere from like 25 to 45. I met this dude from India that's a cardiologist, and he's like 42, and he does yoga, and he wears this really cool hat. And uh, he, yeah, he watched the show, and like three or four other of her other friends watched the show, which was kind of cool, right?
Mm. Do
And
people recognize you in the street now?
no,
No?
the only place that I mean, I'm sure there's been an occasion here and there, right? But the only place that's ever happened to me, and the first place that ever happened to me, was in Sedona. First time I
Uh-huh.
went to Sedona, I went to Whole Foods, and I was walking across the parking lot, and this lady pulled up in a car.
Mm.
And if she eventually came on the show, she's a practitioner. But yeah, that's the only time. Usually in Sedona. But
Wow.
the funny thing is, when Morgan and I got called to the mainland in what was it, 2019? Yeah, uh, we got called to the mainland, and we went. And again, it was one of those things too. Like we were told 8 days later we were on a plane. We arrived on Lionsgate 88 uh, at Terminal 5D, by the way. And but by the time, but 24 hours later, earlier, we only knew we were going to stay somewhere for 3 nights. That's it.
Yeah.
Our car was being shipped. It was going to be 3 weeks before it came, and in 24 hours, I think it would have been the next 2.5, 3 months. People out of nowhere just said, "Hey, you want to do this?" And it was like a chess piece. They all just fit
Mm.
together. So anyway, we had ended up in Northern California, very remote. Like we're talking remote.
Mm.
And we were in a remote part of their most remote part. So imagine all these big mountains covered in tall pine trees, green trees, full of bear and mountain lions and deers, and you know, and in the middle of it, this big river's running through it, beautiful river, clear
Beautiful.
water. Yeah, like something out of a, you're right. And
Yeah.
so this lady called and said, "I'm selling my place. It's 80 acres, and it's right up next to 220 acres of government forest land." So it was basically 300 acres, like maybe a 7-minute walk to this beautiful river. And she had a cabin there, so we stayed there, and it was wild. We had, you know, bears. I mean, she was like Snow White, man. We had bald eagles. I mean, she'd have birds lined up there. It was crazy. Deer, bear.
Really? I
Yeah,
love.
I had a bear encounter, and I had a mountain lion encounter.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
the bear was about 30 feet from me, and I got called out of bed, and it was like they told me, "You go see your buddy, the bear," you know, or something like that. Bear medicine. I went out to the back patio, and I thought, you know, what the fuck? It was like three
Oh,
o'clock in the morning, and it's in California there, you know,
yeah.
up in the mountains. It's pitch dark. All you can see is the stars are beautiful.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then
No.
I hear this rumbling, uh, and it was really dark. You know, like
Yeah.
I'd say, you know, the other side of the other flat building, right? Because these are all flats. And I heard this kind of like scratchy stuff, like twigs and stuff. And I look over there, and there was blueberries all across that grew like a vine, right?
Yeah.
And he was over there eating them. And when I looked, he stopped. He was a black bear, and he stood up and looked at me. I lasted about half a minute. I was like, after 30 seconds, like, okay, I got the medicine. I'm going inside. But yeah, I have quite a few stories from there. But what happened was we went in, and so we were. There was one store that was a 45-minute walk because I used to do it, and it was just a little store, one gas pump, and you could get like some basic stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very small, and it was not open very often. The closest town was like 11, 14 miles away, and you had to go up the mountain, down the mountain, and so it was like, and you're real treacherous and shit. I mean, this is like, remote. So we go to this little town called Weaverville, which has probably got like, maybe, I don't know, one high school, 3,000 people. I don't know. And we went into this little, it only had 3 aisles. It was this little organic grocery store. And I'm sitting there like looking at stuff in one of the aisles. And I hear this lady go, "Morgan Lee." In this little bitty town. Yeah, in this little bitty town.
Bloody hell, God.
And I came around the corner, and the lady, who's a friend of mine now, a really good friend, and she had been on a plane. Her mother lived there. She lived in San Diego, and she had been on a plane coming to see her mom and tend to some things with her mom. And I met her mom. That was crazy. And she was on the plane, and she said Morgan Lee popped into her head.
She felt her.
She said Morgan Lee popped in my head, and then here she was walking in this little grocery store. So I mean, and sometimes there's other times, but it's weird because Sedona, it happens a lot in Sedona.
Yeah.
And I'd be there for longer. Like this last time I was there most of 4 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. Just in very small pockets. That's it. 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, well, that's why I was really surprised. I mean, it must be because it's the people that I'm connected to, but that most of these women knew exactly who you are and knew about your show. And,
that's crazy.
So,
well, and I don't know either because there's a weird thing. Okay, like I can remember. Let's see, like it all started really. It blew up like with the. It was kind of like masculine simmering kind of Soulogy was like, you know what I mean? And then I met Morgan. I met Morgan 5 days before I did the first video in my old studio. I put on Break On Through the Other Side by The Doors. I sat on my couch for 2 days because it had gotten to this point. They would like set up a studio. I'm like, what are you talking about? Go downstairs, go downstairs and clear everything out. I'm like, I don't have anything downstairs. I don't have any furniture. And in 4 days, like all these people call me out of nowhere, like, "Hey, I'm moving out. You want a couch?" I had 4 couches. I had 2 tables. I like decorated it real eclectically with just different stuff. I had a disco ball. Anyway, so there was this whole progression, and I was told, I was first told, started Soulogy. I got that information on Morgan's birthday 2 years later. I didn't know it, by the way. 2 years later,
the name just came to you.
Soulogy. Yeah. Well, there was a whole story behind it. It was Archangel Michael, and it was just coding, however you want to put it. And so 2 years later, I got this thing, and it was like, you got to go start SoulogyOne Studios. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's got to do with music and art, and I don't know what, and I'm like, what do you, just do it. So anyway, that happened, right? And I forgot what we got into that story. I can't remember. But it had something to do with what we were talking about, where I was going to go with her.
People recognizing you and how it all.
Oh yeah. So what I'm getting at is, okay, I started. That would have been September 2015. Okay. Now, I remember going to the taco place around the corner from my house. I didn't have a car. I just walk over there. And there was this cool black chick named Coco Butterfly. and she
Love
and
it.
she worked there. And these are the best damn tacos, I swear to God. And so I went in there one day, and she was like, I forgot about this. And she goes, I know you. You're that crazy motherfucker that's always out there on the streets with that video talking shit. And, and you're speaking some truth, She's
Great.
telling me this, right? And
Yeah.
she's like, because I was doing like, man, that third building didn't get hit by a plane. You're buying this bullshit from the government, and so on and so on. I mean,
Yeah.
I was more rebellious
Oh,
because
okay.
I hadn't really merged with Morgan. Once
Yeah.
that happened, about a week later, you could start to see the whole, and Soulogy just changed because it became a
Oh,
masculine, feminine kind of thing. But
yeah.
that lady ended up doing, she worked there as kind of a manager, and
Mm.
she had there's an underground hip hop. I forgot all about this. There's an underground hip hop radio station in Houston, not too far from here, and she had a radio show, the Cocoa Butterfly Show, and
Gorgeous.
really cool lady, yeah, and really phenomenal story too. Just I am soul story, and yeah. And so
Mm.
one day she's like, "Hey, you want to come on my radio show?" And I'm like, "Okay." you know so that's right when Uber came out, and
Mm.
I didn't have much money, but I had enough of my little bank card, the little bank card where you got to put money on it. I
Oh,
had
yeah.
that thing. I
Yeah.
don't think I think I had I didn't have a smartphone. I had just a regular. So I went to the corner, to the main street, because I didn't have any money. I had some money on
Mm.
this card, and I couldn't afford. I don't know what happened. Taxi was out, something, I don't know. So I did the Uber thing, and they said, we can't accept your card. I'm like, oh shit. And I mean, I had to be there like in 30 minutes. So I call my son. My son comes and grabs me. I get over there, and it was me, two DJs, her, another chick, and a dude. And then they just want to know about Soulogy. And I started talking about everything. I told them how I woke up, Jesus appeared in the trees,
Yeah.
and then I'm hearing Job, and I'm and angels and devils, and and then and they're like, whoa, man, this was crazy, they were they were all sisters. It was cool.
Nice.
And they were also pouring heavy doses of vodka into
During the show.
pints. Yeah. And I was chill with it. I mean, I was sipping on it, but it was a 2-hour show. And it got so wild because and I had gone on Soulogy, and I told people, hey, I'm going to be on this radio show.
Yeah.
So there was about, I think apparently there was about 25 people listening to this thing from Soulogy, because they had it. They must have known, like, you normally get 15 people. We got like 50 people here, and people were making comments and stuff. And so the conversation, because they were funny, it was kind of a cool, it was a cool show. But there was the alcohol thing. So what happened was it kind of started to escalate, because I was alluding to certain truths that they hadn't thought about.
Okay.
So I snapped it. I snapped something out there, and it wasn't anything. It couldn't have been anything too big. But and they're like, "Well, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "Well, I'm talking about this, and the Queen's a lizard."
You went there.
Well, I was being facetious, but
Yeah.
I was trying to make, but I was also, I was trying to make a point,
Yeah.
but it was too much too soon. In fact, I had this memory come up on Facebook about 2 days ago,
Mm.
and it was a video I did. No shirt, got the do-rag on.
I saw it.
Three.
I
Okay,
saw
so
that one.
that one,
Yeah.
right? And I hadn't
Yeah.
seen this. I didn't hardly
It was
remember.
really nice to see that, because it, just to
Well,
see, because you just started then, did you? It was
yeah,
right at the very beginning.
Yeah, this is the period I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
been, up to that point, there had been really 12, 13, 14, and most of 15. So I'm in it about 3 years,
Yeah.
3.5 years. Meet Morgan, few days before I got the balls to do the first one with the doors, and because I did 400 in 9 months, 400 videos in 9 months before I
Yeah.
took a break. Every
Yeah.
day on it. I mean, and so that one that I'm talking about was about 3 weeks later. It was like September 20. I met her on September 3rd. It was like September 21st, 20 something. And in that video, you can hear what my tone was. Very masculine, but hey man, I'm calling the bullshit out,
Yeah. Yeah.
But on that video, which I
Your
thought,
voice, the tone of your voice is different in that too, to what it is now.
oh yeah, because I was deep in the masculine, I was loud and and rightfully so. But what I was getting at is in that video, and the reason I shared it is because it made me laugh, number one, but it also made me respect not just me, but every one of us. To me, it spoke about all of us. And the crazy thing is, and I think we've all done this. You might call it prophecy, but I think it's really intuition and premonition that comes from the telepathic field. But in that video, I say, "Come on over to Soulogy." We're not going to hear you, but we'll figure this shit out together, and I'm going, oh my God, that shit came true, man. Like, wow, it's coming true, right? Like one of my friends sent me a note. She's like, dude, I didn't know that was going on in 2015. You were lit. I'm like, we were all lit. We were all lit, but what worked then will work now, and that is to get the code out there. And there are a lot more ways to do that today.
Even when you don't understand it yourself, because you won't understand it at first.
Well, you are it. You being you is it. And I think that's where we're getting to now. Because so it's the same method, but there are many ways to do it. You can do it through art. You can do it through what you're doing, like gathering people, other initiatives. But it's just cool. But if you think about it, and we're talking early 2015. I did like 3 or 4 little ones with my phone, right? And this was when they first started doing videos and lives. You could upload videos because I had started doing that, but you couldn't do a live. And then they came out with a live. So the first one I did was in the first part of that year, and I came on and said, and again, I'm like stoned out of my mind. I got this do-rag on. I got this music, this real ambient music on. And I'm like,
keeping it real.
Hey, my name's Todd Medina. I represent Soulogy. You can tell I'm nervous. I mean, I'm skinnier, I just been off the streets. And I said, I don't know, something. It was not like a minute and 30 seconds in it. It said something like, I'm going to start doing these videos. I don't really know what I'm doing. And I said, but one thing I will say is what you will be hearing me say is I am soul. So that's kind of always been the thing. That was the thing, I think, actually, for me. And then I met Morgan, and that's why I said that it all really got birthed because that's when the human is the hero came in. She brought that in.
Did she?
Yeah. She brought that. She brought that awareness in. And I didn't understand that for a long time because I had my own human hero story. I walked those streets. I did what I did, and I know but that was my pissed off ego with my soul. What she taught me was, hey, you got a bunch of shadow in there. So that, I think, and it took me a long time to really understand that it's not so much the saying, it's the energy that the awareness that was brought and infused. And again, these are just more tales. You want to talk about the hero's journey.
Yeah.
These are just more tales of our hero's journey. All of our journey. We were heroes the moment we came out of the chute. The moment we came out of the moment we came out of the organic copy of the universe, the mother's womb, our mother's womb, mine, yours, and we came out and we got laid like an egg, and the whole thing started. We were a hero. We were a hero. So there's no winning or losing. It's just a matter of how far do you want to go. If you want to look at that as potential of opportunity, of potential, or there's nothing wrong with flatlining. There's nothing wrong with taking a breather. I've heard Dolores Cannon talk about this. I've heard Dolores Cannon say some souls, you'll see them, they're just like, almost like brain dead, just kind of like zombies,
Yeah.
And she said sometimes a soul needs a break.
Yeah.
So if you see someone like that, you don't know what their soul's up to. Their soul's
really don't.
chilling out. And I'll tell you something too that I really have come to respect more than anything. And this is like most of our revelations and epiphanies, our truths are coming very recently and presently, right? And that is that I never thought, and people may disagree with me, but this is my own truth. I'm not trying to have a debate. I never thought that my soul hurt. And what I've come to understand, my own personal truth, and it's making me a better everything, is these human incarnations were balls to the wall. And I don't care if you were here for one day or a millennia, like I was and have been. I don't care. It's a tough, it's the toughest ride in the universe because it's the best ride. But it's as tough as anything out there. And if you have multiple incarnations or not, because if you come here once, you come here forever and you're glued to everybody. But there is something to be said, again, having a physical presence, being corporal, carrying all this stuff and embodying it for those that are here in the flesh right now, because it's a special time. But nevertheless, all the incarnations took their toll, and I can say my soul hurt. I didn't know it. Now, my soul never lost strength. I will say that. My soul, to my knowledge, like in my own dark nights of the soul and all that, my soul was always there. My soul cried. My soul hurt. My soul felt things. My soul felt ecstasy, right? But it also felt this other stuff. So once I kind of came to that point, a few, whatever, then I started to really respect the body because I was told you need to start fasting 3 weeks ago. So this is my fourth week. The third week of fasting in the last 4 weeks. Now I've lasted 3 and 4 days, like 4.5 days.
I was going to ask you that. I'm eating less. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm eating less too, and then on top of it, the fasting. But anyway, the whole idea is that the body's consciousness is we're coming into alignment. The Todd, this Todd, that Todd, the body, and that's how I got there, because that's called walking the talk. And I'm not pious, and I'm not, because everyone knows I'm love to have a good time and all that stuff. But this is I don't know how to say it. A lot of people felt clicks occur in February, shifting, like what my daughter talked about on the 22nd. For me, I felt the level of sensitivity and occurrence that I began to experience, and hasn't stopped, was as high as when I woke up into 2 years of walking the streets and divine episodes and miraculous stuff, right? And the other thing I would compare it to would be many moments with Morgan, the Hieros Gamos, the sacred sexuality, just the pure, because we were both still, like everyone else, subject to human condition. So it wasn't a constant perpetual thing, right? It's a back and forth, right? Mm-hmm. So I would say that when it first happened to me, and I think for many others, and we describe it differently, but that first whack for a lot of people, I'm not saying everybody, it felt biblical, and that's what it feels like now to me. And that's not a good word for it, but I'm trying to give you, it's profound. It's beyond that. It's bigger than everything. It's bigger than every fear we have and every love we know. It's us, and it's materialized in this body, and that's no bullshit. And it could do anything. I guarantee you, for all the death that's seemingly subtly being put in front of us, because anyone that goes up and down the mainstream media, all you see is death, 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 right? But for all of that programming and capability that they've utilized, it's been effective for all these incarnations, is no longer working. And so even though we don't really know what's going on, and it looks like, a bunch of people are dying from this and this and that, whatever, I guarantee you that the instantaneous healing episodes over the last 2 or 3 years have increased dramatically. I guarantee you. And I know people. I bet you if I went into my memory bank,
their way to me and sharing their stories of how they've healed themselves from incurable stuff.
I don't know what happened here. They kicked me out of Restream.
Again.
No, I'm just saying because I filled it out and then it says unknown error. So they don't like me. But see, going back to what you were saying earlier about the disengagement, like I said, I'll put it this way. All these things, we are the internet. The internet was our creation. You don't care who tried to use it for what. It allowed us to do a couple of things, to learn much quicker but like we used to and like we're supposed to, and that we got dumbed down not to. And it allowed us to feel each other and feel ourselves, right? But what you were talking about with the disengagement, how far will it go? I don't know, but it will go. And I will tell you, I will say it like this. I'm not, Lawrence Swindle, our friend Lawrence Swindle, has traveled Canada, U.S., Mexico, Guatemala. Yeah, but he's also spent 4 nights in the Mexico City jail, which I would never want to go to jail in Mexico.
No,
I mean, he's got a whole, he was in jail many times, but he's here for what he's doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But I will tell you this, I'm not ready to go do that.
No.
But I will say, when I'm ready to go, nothing's going to stop me. Now I might not make it, but I would rather challenge the borders, the bullshit of the borders in this world, and die trying to get to where I want to go and who I want to go to, or whatever it is. I'm a free soul. I would rather die on the way than live. I'm not here to. Because I think the signs are here. And the only thing that the only thing that will hold us back is our resistance to our uncomfortable security blanket, which is no fucking security at all. I don't know. It's pretty wild.
Really
What did we do today?
What do we do?
I thought I was going to be doing a regular show, and then I realized we must be talking telepathically. I mean, and then I hear you say, "Oh, I had these questions I was going to ask you." I'm like, "What are you asking me?" And I go, "Oh, okay."
We've already done it. Yeah.
Well, I think that again, another thing that's coming in louder and louder is when we're exposed to something, when we become aware of something, we become aligned in many cases simultaneously. Like that's the level that we're learning at. See, those that play that role, whatever you want to call it, in this thing that we all set up, and Franco was one of the architects, and many, there's just, it goes on and on. We can't be stopped. Goddess will find himself again. It always happens. That's why every book, every great movie every person's life is the hero's journey.
The hero's journey, yeah.
Hero's journey. Well, I guess I better get off, and I'm supposed to do another show, right? Am I?
Yeah. Who have you got on next?
Oh, I got a phone call in 10 minutes. I know that. Let me wait. Who do I have on next? Let me see. Hang on. We should have labeled this your show, really.
That's
I don't.
okay. No, I'm just grateful that you're holding my hand through whatever the fuck it is Soul wants me to do next.
Well, you know what? This is interesting. Okay, I actually got 2 phone conferences, and I don't have another show for a while, but I forgot to see who it was. Judy Dyer, yeah, from England. She's going to be on,
Oh, I love that.
and
English.
Ty, and a friend of his, a lady. We're going to do
Yeah,
some music,
nice.
and uh, at 10 o'clock New York time. This is going to be a very special show. At 10 o'clock New York time tonight, which is going to be 3 a.m. in London, which is going to
Hmm.
be about 2 p.m. on the east side of Australia. There's a lady coming on by the name of Kim Vanderhayden. I received a message a couple of weeks ago. I nice letter, like we get a lot of them, and she says, "How would you like for the first trans grandmother to come on Soulogy?" And I said, "Come on." All right.
Mm.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the day. It's a busy day. It's a big Monday, and I'm gonna get off because I'm gonna go talk, see what's going on with these people.
Yes, yeah.
But
Well,
I'm
listen, Todd,
sure
thank you.
I'm sure
Thank
it's
you for
financially related. I already know one way or the
well,
other. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh no, you know what I was going to tell you is
well,
okay. So we got a couple of minutes. So um, the network that we've been working on for so long,
mm,
right? Which has mostly been etherical. I
yeah,
guess
yeah.
I guess our show is work on it, right? But and it is. But so we're having a live demo um, this like Friday,
Hmm.
and the final demo before we bring it out. So you
That's really
got
exciting.
handheld access on Apple and Android. You have uh, I'll just use the terms we're familiar with. So you go to this one place. It's called Soulogy. It's on your handheld. You pull it open. Uh, you have a news feed. You have a YouTube video archive, and you have a LinkedIn,
Beautiful.
all in one. And
You need it.
eventually a couple of other things. And unlimited. Or you have instant messaging,
Yeah.
just like you have unlimited live stream, uh,
Mm,
unlimited, and so anyway, it's coming out
great.
and soon, and it's built. It will be owned. Well, nobody owns anything. It will
Hmm.
be built by the community for the community. Thank you, Marina Gobier. Built by the community, built for the community. And
Mm,
I won't go into a lot of the details, but what I will say is this: I'm going to start the first account. I'm going to pay $12 a month, and that will be it for everyone. And we will have a fund for people that can't. Okay, so it's going to remain wide open. The reason for that is to establish value and honor value, but also to fuel the new commerce. So
mm,
imagine how many people we'll have. Let's just say in a few
mhm,
months.
mhm,
I think it's pretty easy to say we'll have 10,000 people.
mhm.
Easy, easy. We might have
Yeah,
it in 30 days. Okay.
yeah.
That will be $1.5 million of gifting a year. Of
Beautiful.
that, and this is all downloaded, and I've talked about it over the
Mhm,
years. Of that, 1/3 of it will go back to the content creators.
mhm.
So if we had 10,000 people in a community, and the whole idea is to pay it forward, gift,
Yeah.
take away, there's no taxing here. This is 5D, baby, right? So, so half of the gross profit, a third is cost, a third goes to the house for you know,
Mhm.
investment. You got to put money, keep the money in the business, and
Yeah.
then a third will go to the content creators. So if Conkers is and what that means is what percentage of engagement is it pulling. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
Lisa
Yes.
Marie personal profile and she has a Conkers group, both of
Mm,
those are going to get a percentage of engagement.
yeah.
That $500,000 in that 10,000 community will be distributed amongst those 10,000. You know what I mean? And that's
Mm-hmm.
only counting that. So a lot of people will get, and it's not even that's not even the question. The whole point is it's all everyone's equal. Round table,
Yeah.
everyone's equal.
Round table.
So the reason I went ahead and went into that is because I started it and I can't stop because I'm pretty excited about it finally. But I'm calm
I'm
about
not
it because
surprised.
it's so many times I hit my head on the wall. But
Yeah.
what
I
I
know you've
started,
been doing this in a long time.
yeah, I have, yeah. So
Mm.
one of the things I was thinking about is, and this just happened. This is why I love this show because, like, even the stuff I was telling you earlier about some of the stuff that I received a couple of weeks ago, I actually verbalized it right now. I knew it
Mm-hmm.
then, but I didn't know that. I didn't explain it. But is that I was thinking about putting together because I see a lot of people that are. I saw a talk show the other day, and the guy was like, "A lot of people are doing talk shows now, and they don't need to be." And I kind of saw what he was saying, but then I thought to myself yesterday, "Wow, this is going to come out, and people are going to be compensated because you got to remember, there's going to be sponsors and advertisers. There's also going to be individual exchanges, just like you have now on LinkedIn and Facebook with people's
Mm-hmm.
websites, sessions, material. So all that's still there too. It's its own universe of functioning in 3D in Trinity Energy
Yeah.
365. But so what I was thinking was, you know, if there's some, it's like, what am I going to do? I don't mind doing the show, maybe 1 2 hour show 5 days a week because I would like to get into some other things and support the community and allow people to actually do what I've done and what other people have done.
Yeah.
And where you merge what you love and know that you're supposed to do and everything, everything's in it, heart, mind, soul, whatever. And you get abundance for it, proportionate. And it's the physical embodiment, physical manifestation, creation of it. And it's all done by everybody. Right.
Yeah.
So I thought, I do, and I have helped a lot of people over the years. I tell them, I'm going to start a group. This is what you do, da, da, da,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I tell them the truth, and it's work. But
Mm.
like this is so important for people to talk to each other.
Yeah.
Believe me, if you're yourself, people will show up.
Yeah, they
Don't
do.
worry about the fucking promos as much. Don't worry about how you look. Don't worry about just
Mm-mm.
show up and have a conversation because the more of you that shows up, the more code we all get. So I was thinking that because I've got some friends and I watch, I pop in on their different shows and I just like to see, and I don't stay for the whole one usually or never, except the one last night. But I know I could help them. So I
Mm.
was thinking about putting a little program together and just give it to whoever wants it. They can have it. I don't need to charge them, and just kind of say, hey, or maybe doing a class or something like maybe a course, free course, and just say, look, let me just share with you all of it, which isn't like, oh, this is how you do it, but this is what I've
This
learned.
is what I've done and it
Yeah.
works.
This is
Yeah.
what I've learned, which is code,
Yeah.
which is what code is. Code is
Yeah.
the universe going here. This is what's happening. Like I remember
Exactly.
um, Yeshua and Magdalene one night. Morgan and I were connecting, and they came
Mm.
and they said, "Here is the whatever it was. Here is the sacred union code, or
Mm-hmm.
that. Here it is." They were like what my example. Here it is. I'm the universe. Here's how far we've taken it. Now you
Mm.
go add to it. So it's the same thing.
It
Yeah.
is. That's exactly. So I've got this. You've probably seen the Rock and Rose rituals
Yes.
business.
Yes. That's cool. Do you label
And that,
that yourself? Yeah.
yeah, I've done all the design and everything. And well, it was. I told you it was that ancient tree that kind of I downloaded it all from. But then I'm shown that is for many. So like a global network for people to connect and be a
Well,
part of something beautiful.
that's
And I
right.
literally just go, there you go. That's what I've done. Run with it.
Well, see,
Not mine.
and that's a great example because the thing is, whether it's it's everything, right?
Yeah.
Like most people you tap into, they're not one dimensional. They got
No.
different parts of them. And so
Mm.
so that's what I'm saying. Bigger is not always better. And
No.
that's what that's what I told our partner in Canada, because he sees it
Yeah.
and he's like, what no one can believe that I've run into professionally. When I say professionally, I mean, as I've been pursuing this,
Mm-hmm.
outside of what people see, even like, I mean, this is just stuff, this is something I've been doing, like pushing and getting.
Yeah.
They're all like, you've never collected an email. I'm like, no, I haven't.
Mm.
And they're like, but because the old model, that's what it
Mm.
was. And you know
Yeah.
this, you signed up stuff, you start getting emails all the time.
Yeah.
So this is, and so they look at what is there with the metrics and all the stuff, right? And they're like, man, I even had people tell me you're crazy. You could be making boatloads of, and I'm like, that's not what I'm here for.
No.
What I'm here for is everybody's abundance, right? So that's my
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
If you think about this, just extrapolate it, right?
Mm.
If it's my friend Susie and she always wanted to do a podcast, or
Mm-hmm.
she always wanted to get, like, look at Ernestine. She just plays a guitar, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, I promise you that you are going to have people that resonate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything is relative. So if I'm Susie or whoever, and I have 1,000 people,
Mm.
or let's say 100 people,
Mm.
100 people that gift me $25 a month,
Mm-hmm.
that's $2,500.
Mm.
There's a lot of people could live on that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Less than that.
but that's what I'm saying. And whatever it is there.
Mm.
It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's a pyramid. It's the octahedron. It's the
Mm.
tetrahedron. It's the pyramid. It's
Mm.
power. What those. It's part of the reason those pyramids are all over the world.
Mm.
That's part of the reason, because there is a power source tied to mathematics, tied to many things. And may I remind people that it's also there for other reasons. It's I think we over glorify the history that we think we know, instead of just honoring the ancestors that we don't know.
Mm.
Just honor it all, because what I'm getting at is, I don't even want to talk about it, because then people will be like, what are you talking about? And they'll go they'll go down that rabbit hole. Well, because the point is that would be moving away from where I know we should be, which is,
Right.
I am soul.
Mm.
All I'm saying is don't get too caught up in the narratives.
No.
The past can't help us now.
No.
And the future can't help us now.
Mm-hmm.
It's right now, right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's us, and kind of in a funny way now, but it'll be more serious later, I think. Get over it. Get used to it. Get over it. Accept it. Go be the giant, energetic, and physical beings that you are.
Yeah.
There's a reason we were giants. And there's a reason there's the giant stuff is all coming out now.
Mm.
All right. I better go, because I got to go figure this.
Well,
figure this out.
well, that's what I see. Soulogy is the tree, and there's many branches, and that's what Conkers is, a branch. That's what I see.
Conkers.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, isn't that? I mean, I mean, the tree of life, right? So
Tree of life.
you're the tree of life. I'm the tree of life. And that's what happens. We're all bearing fruit. We're all.
Yeah.
So it's really a replication, the multiplicity.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. Appreciate you.
I love you too, Todd. Thank you.
Let me go figure out why they banned me.
Bless you. See you soon.